Hey guys, this is Steven. I'm here with my good friend Infrared underscore on his SMP server that he's been showing off in his videos. And I recently joined here because I wanted a good server to build on, and it turns out this is exactly that. And we're going to do what I hope will be a nice little series about this server and the stuff we've been doing. And I will let him explain to you what is going on here because I really am overwhelmed and don't know.
Alright, well this is infrared underscore here. It's pretty basic what we've been doing. I try to go ahead and leave it open to anybody who wants to come into my server, as long as they pass the check, which is they're not douchebags. That's first and foremost. But
I made it in anyway.
Well, we do make exceptions. You're good with Redstone, and that always helps. Plus, you're easy. But aside from that, we have a little 8-bit sprite display here. I've displayed this in my videos, but it's kind of good to give an overall view of everything that's going on. My brother's in the video as well. This is Split Bolt. We've got everything here. This is just where pixel art comes to life. I mean, over yonder, we've got Vegeta, we got Trunks, we got Mega Man, Yoshi, Samus, Cecil, Kane, Edge, Mario, Luigi, a mushroom, and a fucking Pokeball. So, I mean, I really do like pixel art. As I've said in previous videos, I love the NES era. I love how the simplicity of it, and that's what Minecraft is at its core. It's a simplistic game,
Absolutely.
but you're able to do amazing things with it, and that's really important to recognize. So we have this. Eventually, I'm going to go ahead. I just installed a new mod on my server, World Edit 3.2. We're going to take all of this stuff down and put it up in a area and warp to it, so it's not so cluttered. I mean, I like to come out of my home base. Yeah, I like to come out of my home base and kind of look over and see this, but I think it would be better served in a wider area so we have more room and it's not so cluttered.
Yeah, it'd be like a big museum of some kind,
pretty
like
much
exhibits or something. I like the idea.
Exactly. Kind of like the museum we're going to go to a little bit later and show your and my viewers.
Oh yeah.
What's going on, but but aside from that, that's the pixel art. That's my brother's little FU. Because I decided to make him a pretty playhouse up there of pink wool and purple wool. It was important and it was needed to be done.
Oh yeah, it's what's it called again? Sweetie Pie Zachary's Playhouse. And this is
exactly.
How old is he again? He's like 13 or something like that.
Yeah, he's 12 years old. It's Sweetie Pie Zachary's Playhouse. Inside, one of my subscribers built a diamond bed and a rocking horse in there.
I saw that.
We'll get to that a little bit later.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it was important. The giant floating dick is there.
Oh yeah.
Above the big green dick. Right. So that right there is kind of like a symbol of unity.
Yeah.
It will stand the test of time.
It points ahead into the future because the past is behind us.
It does.
But your dick always points towards the future, right? Or something.
Exactly. Something akin to that. Next on our list is this right here. As you can see in my shitty texture pack, it's not shitty, but this texture is god-awful. It's corn pops.
Yeah, they're seeing our texture pack right now, so it's on mine, but we were using the same one as far as...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you are using this exact same one. Corn pops. To Redstone Museum. So I'm going to go ahead and let Steven, while we take our lovely little minecart ride,
do you have any
explain what we're going to be seeing. Yeah, throw me one. Right, I haven't generated any because I'm lazy.
You might notice, avid fans, that I do have some hacked items, and I hope you don't blame me, but we're on a server, a build server, and I make huge exception for that. So, don't hate. I kind of feel bad because I promised in my early videos that I would never use InvEdit for anything. And then I started the Minecraft computer, the Redstone computer that is, and then the helixes and stuff, and these structures needing like 10,000 of every material, and I only had about...
Farming it would be insane and you would drive yourself nuts.
Oh shit, well that'll be fun. Okay, yeah, so like I had 5,000 redstone when I started the computer, and then I had an error in my world, and I lost all of it except for what I'd already built. So I was like, well, I think I owe it to myself to hack in 5K. That'd be okay, and then I'll finish it. And then I noticed, oh crap, sorry, the cart fucked up. I always forget to take my carts off the track, so like the old ones get left here. So yeah, it just boosted us backward at maximum momentum. It's not far to walk from here though. So this.
Yeah, just do /jump.
Oh yeah. So this area here is like we just walked out like a couple hundred paces and said, hey, this looks like a good area for a redstone test area. There's my namesake.
Yeah, if you watch my previous video, it's going to explain what happened. They're like, Steve and I were like, yeah, we need to do something together. I'm like, okay, cool. We need like a 50 by 50 work area. I'm like, okay, I'll start finding something. So I did, and I start clearing it out. And then he and his little OCD went and built that gigantic mammoth of a Barney dick up there, which is actually fantastic. We haven't showed it on video except for like the
we only saw
intro to it.
Yeah, it was about 25% done, so it'll be cool to go inside. I guess we could go up there first.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, it's basically I called it an observation tower. It's basically where I can go up and look at the redstone projects that are going on, and it actually just got creepered. So the entrance normally looks super awesome, and now it looks really crappy. So we'll go up our spiral staircase.
And I will be keeping this on daytime for the entire video, guys.
Good.
So don't worry about darkness.
So this is the lobby, I guess. It's all lava here, and then oh god, I fell.
It's very welcoming.
Somebody took out one of the blocks. What the? God damn it! All right.
There we go. I fixed it.
All right.
Oh shit.
Two of them. Somebody keeps deleting my wood. Okay. So pretty basic stuff here. We're inside the bottom half of the sphere. Here you can see I built a giant.
Looks like a big bowl of corn pops.
Yeah, it does, man. We're inside my breakfast. We got like the milk floating on top or something. I don't know. But here's the Redstone Museum. It started just as a work area, and we said, hey, what if first we document every redstone circuit that exists, like every basic one, and then people could build kind of around this with whatever they want to do. We kind of have a very interesting flow of information here, where we hop from one thing to another. But upstairs is my personal little apartment.
Yeah, that's called ADD, friend.
Yeah, it is. I'm turning this into my like VIP redstone lounge. And I have to hide the entrance in a good way, so. But this here takes you to the top of the observation tower. It doesn't look super good, but you can't really see it.
Which is kind of cool. I haven't seen this since the adjustments. Wow, you've been busy, sir.
Yes. You can't. We're at the almost top of the map. I think there's like 3 or 4 blocks above us, but so you can't see this, tackiness here. Oh, great, a giant.
This is the top of the map.
Oh, you ended up making a diamond wiener, though. All right. Let's see.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks. So you can see we have some cannons in the distance, but yeah, this is just the observation. The really exciting stuff is down below, and rather than take the stairs, I'm just going to jump. Oh god, am I going to die? Nope. Another horrible thing we do is take off HP when we're building. Sorry. I know you're all ashamed of me. But,
they shouldn't be. They should understand that when you want to be creative and use your massive brain, you have to bend the rules a little bit.
Sometimes,
just here and there.
Sometimes you do. Yeah, and I guess right now it's really just Infrared and I, but normally both of his brothers and my brother are on there, and then a couple of our mutual subscribers come on here. So it's a lot of fun. It's really low-key. It's not like a huge, group of people, but we definitely are open to people joining. But we would like to talk to you first and make sure that you're not a total idiot who's just going to come on.
You have to go through a screening process because, honestly, there are so many assholes and douchebags out there that just don't care what people do. It's amazing.
Yep.
And griefers think it's hilarious, just like trolling. So you got to go through a little bit of a screening.
But I guess we can go in and take a look at the museum, unless we have something else important to look at.
Aside from the fact that you put your name in water with cascading lava.
Yeah, I kind of glanced at that, but I haven't really gone up to it. You won't believe, okay, so I was like, I really want to make big letters, but not the way my brother did. He made some lowercase ones offhand that look really good. He just kind of made them off the top of his head. It says love SJ ×2, because that's both of our initials, and we built the whole museum while Infrared was asleep, and he woke up and was like, oh my god! And so
I had been drinking the night before. My bad.
as had I. But so I went online and I was like, I want some pixelated words that look good, and I found a there was a sewing website with cross stitching patterns that had all the letters spelled out in pixels. So that's where I got that from.
Stephen the seamstress.
It was fun though. But so if we go inside here, we have one of each type of circuit that you'll find on the Minecraft wiki under Redstone circuits, and a couple that you will not.
This is where I shut up. I know nothing.
Well, yeah, I kind of want to. I guess this demonstration is both for Infrared and everyone else because he hasn't really seen a lot of this. And basically, what we have are simple representations of gates and mechanisms from the Minecraft wiki. So, for example, let's find something you guys would know. So this is a NOT gate, right? It whatever signal you put into it, which is either on or off, it outputs the opposite. And so if we hit our lever, the door will open or close. But if the lever's on, the door is closed, which means off, and opposites vice versa. That's like the most basic gate you can really have. All the others are based off of that principle, because a redstone torch itself is a NOT gate. So by combining redstone torches in meaningful ways, we can create the other gates. And that's actually how it is in real life. The basis of computers is the transistor, and the transistor itself is a NOT gate. So Notch didn't just pull this out of his ass. This is real, I work with these things every day. It's absolutely real. But
just like he worked with his headset after his dog butchered it.
Yes, I did fix my headset. It sounds quite good if you ask me. And for some reason, it's actually louder than it was when I bought it. I don't know what caused that, but it is. So
that's the solder.
Yeah, maybe. So if we take a look, these aren't in any particular order. We have NAND here, which is the most common gate used in the real world because they're the cheapest to make and easiest to print on circuit boards. So on an Intel chip, every gate is a NAND gate, as far as I know. They might have used some others, but I'd be very surprised. And then this is AND gate, which of course does what it says. If this input and this input are on, your output will be on, so the door will open. OR gate, if either one is on. So if A or B is on, as some people say. One or both, basically. I'm just doing a really quick overview. This isn't really a tutorial by any means. We're just showing them off our little demonstration area. This is a 5 clock. It generates a pulse. 5 pulses per second. Or no, sorry, 5 ticks per second, I guess it is. Something like that. It basically is...
I think, real quick, if people do want a more in-depth tutorial, just go ahead and request it. I'm very sure Steven will be... I'll learn it specifically to make a tutorial. I'll learn quick, and I think that I'll be able to do this. But if you want to see a more in-depth tutorial on one of these, please feel free to message here or and we'll get something going.
Yeah, right.
Because I know there's a lot of minds out there who love Redstone and how creative and vast the implications can be.
Yeah, or even people that don't know a lot about it and they want to learn. You want to learn to make calculators and computers and traps and things like that. There's a huge knowledge base out there. All these circuits we just took right from the Minecraft wiki, but I mean, of course, I've built these before for different things that you'd see in my videos. But this guy right here, I know everyone that's watching this has a computer. You're on a computer. Your computer has a processor, and that processor is given a speed rating, and that's called the clock speed. Your processor is probably somewhere between 1 and 4 gigahertz. And when people say that, they're talking about this clock right here. So instead of being changing 5 times per second, or however much it is, your computer clock changes as many as 5 billion times per second. And that's what they're talking about. So what we have here is just a clock generator in Minecraft. It's the basis of a processor right here. That's why that thing's important. And you can make one of any size really you're limited between 3 and, as big as you're able to build. And the bigger it is, the slower it'll be. But 5 is what we call the smallest stable clock. Anyways, so here's a repeater. In Minecraft, of course, redstone can only travel for 15 blocks before it loses its signal. So you use a repeater to increase the length of a particular wire. And this week, there's actually going to be an update that puts this into 1 or 2 blocks that you can craft and give it like a delay for making music and traps and stuff like that. Let's go back to the other side and work our way down, because it gets more complicated as we move on. I kind of was like, what can I make this harder than this? But,
And I can bet you the majority of the watchers are going to be like, it gets more complicated? Really?
So, an XOR gate is kind of a cool gate. What it does is, it compares 2 inputs to see if they're the same. And if they are the same, it won't turn on. But if they're different, it will turn on. So the door is on because they're different right now. This one is on. This one is off. And now, since they're the same again, it closes, turns off. And then the opposite of this is called XNOR. And when you see a gate with an N in it, like NAND or NOR or XNOR, things like that, it's just an inverse of what the normal thing is. So if we take XOR and invert it, we get XNOR. And XNOR is used to compare our quality also. So if 2 things are the same, our door will open, meaning our circuit's on. So if we have an off and an on, like this, our door closes because they're no longer the same. So this is something that's actually used in processors to determine if 2 values are the same. So if you're doing like a program where you have to compare 2 values of anything, like if God, this is difficult to think of. So say you're in Windows, okay, and you say if the mouse clicks the start button. Well, you would say, is the mouse's position the same as the start button, and is the mouse's button held down? And so you would say if the mouse's cursor is equal to the start button's position using something like this, then the start menu would come up. It's difficult to explain, really, but that's the basis of it. It's an equality mechanism.
I completely understood that, and I agree with you.
So this is a full adder. I just did a tutorial on this. It's what you use to make a calculator. And a full adder does addition and subtraction. And what it does is it takes 3 inputs and converts it to 2 outputs. It'll add these 3 together in binary numbers, so each one of these represents a 0 or a 1. And our output is a 2-bit number, where the left door means 2 and the right door means 1 if they're open. So you chain these things together to make as big of a calculator as you want to. And I did a full tutorial on how you build this from the ground up and how you connect them. And then you can connect it to a display if you want to output the number for you. And it's all really simple, and there's tons of really good guides on it. But this is really simple. So if we add like 1 plus 1, we get 2, because we have 1, 0. And then if we add another 1, we get 3, which is 1, 1. I won't go show every combination, because there's 8 of them, and I already did a tutorial on it. But and again, we are just doing a brief overview here. This isn't a tutorial by any means. We're just showing everything that we have. Our next guy here is the RS NOR latch, which in Minecraft is the basis of all memory. You kind of have to use these if you want to store memory of any kind. And so using this is how those guys have made the crazy Minecraft CPUs and things like that. And what the RS NOR latch does is it stores a value in the middle right here, either a 1 or a 0, and it gets this value by either using a set or a reset input. So this guy here is our set input. If we hit this, then we store a 1 inside, and we can see our 1 from right here. And then the reset input gives it a 0. And it'll stay here. I mean, we can hit each of these, and it'll store whichever value we put in, and it won't go away for any reason. So using this, we're able to make quite a few things. Anything involving memory. So you can write programs in Minecraft if you have enough memory. This guy right here is our rapid pulsar.
I'm working on a program to implement pictures. So when you start doing this, it'll give you the numbers and the correct amounts by displaying a pig, if it's 1 or 0, displaying horses and such, to make it a little bit more simplified and user-friendly.
So the rapid pulsar is another kind of clock, but it's not predictable in any way. It just blinks really fucking fast. So I'll turn it on. This is our power switch, and you see it's blinking like insanely fast, and we're not even actually seeing every blink. It's just the ones that the game is able to show us. and that is used.
If you're sensitive to
for,
blinking lights,
yeah.
look away.
It's used for quite a few things, but if you hook this up to dispensers, things like that for like rapid fire, or if you want to have really fast blinking lights, it's kind of hard to describe really good uses for it because you really like to have a stable clock if you're doing something involving computers. But let's see. This guy here is really, really complicated to explain real-world implications of, but I'll tell you, this is the implies gate. It basically tells you, it is an evaluator of logic. It tells you if your argument is valid and correct, which I don't know if that makes much sense, but that's what it does. And won't spend a lot of time on it. I am lagging like hardcore, so we'll show this gate, and I think I'm going to turn the video over to you, Infrared. This last guy here is our T flip-flop that I showed in a video. I haven't done a tutorial on it, but if you want to see one, let me know. What it does is, it turns a button into a lever. Each time you push the button, it's akin to pulling a lever in one direction or the other. So it stores a 1-bit value in a creative way. So say the left is our value. Right now it's a 1. If we push the button, it's going to, sorry again for the lag, it's going to go closed, so now it's a 0. And so it turns your button into a lever. So purely aesthetic thing. So, yeah, this has been Steven, running at 7 frames per second right now, so I'm going to close out Fraps, check my hard drive. But Infrared is going to give us a detailed, let's see, he's going to do the rest of the recording, I guess. But thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to Infrared, and click this link for part 2.